He's fighting for the Hex Featherweight Championship May 31st against a hell of a prospect. Let's get his thoughts. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your main event.
Live from HBF Stadium Festival Hall. Melbourne Pavilion. Not even backstage, we're literally outside.
Was that the best fight card in Australian MMA history?
Call me crazy, but make sure you call me when I'm right.
Be good if the Aussie MMA Instagram page would give us a bit of glow up because...
Welcome to the Australian MMA podcast. My name is Mitch Tillian. Today's guest is a good friend of the show. He's caused so many good clips. Mr. Sem Kakembo. He is featherweight, taking on Marwan Rahiki for the Hex Fight Series Featherweight Championship, May 31st at Melbourne Pavilion. Actually, weirdly, gave him the nickname the Pot Stirrer a little while back because of my ability to excite the lead up to fights. Look, Sem Kakembo used to train at Absolute MMA under Simon Carson, of course, with UFC featherweights, Khan Offley, Jack Jenkins, and prospects, and Mason Navetsu, and Alistair Valdes, and of course, like Luciano and all those boys are there. Recently moved teams to Combat One, and been training with Australian Elite Team. Of course, training now under Sammy Hayward, Combat One. You'd know John and McAuliffe, UFC fighter, doing a great job as well. He is, doing great things. So it's interesting to see Sem Kakembo move teams. A very successful team to another successful team, but find out with Sem just why he did that, and of course his thoughts on Marwan Rahiki, his opponent, who has had some confident things to say in their lead up. So I'll get his thoughts on that. But if you want to find out more, of course, go get Hex Fight Series 35 tickets if you want to see them fight May 31st. And if you need combat sports insurance, you got a gym, got an event, just want an insurer that understands what you do. combatsportsinsurance.au. Of course, want to thank our gym partner, Drillich Combat Academy, the home of Australian MMA champion Anthony Drillich and other aspiring athletes. And of course, vexmma.com. Check out all of their gear online. Tell them Mitch sent you. Don't know where you'd put it, but just say I did. Couldn't do this podcast without them. Powered by Vex. Guys, right now, it's the man taking on Marwan Rahiki for the Hex Featherweight Championship. It's Sem Kakembo right now. And we'd like to take the time to thank our gym partner, DCA, the home of Australian MMA champion Anthony Drillich and aspiring athletes. If you'd like to know more, head to drillichcombatacademy.com. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. One of my favourite guests. He takes on Marwan Rahiki for the Hex Featherweight Championship, May 31st in Melbourne. Mate, welcome.
Good to see you, Ron.
Did you catch the interview with Marwan?
I did, yeah.
What was your thoughts?
To be expected, what's what you kind of expect from a young, confident young man.
Do you feel now that you're because not too long ago you were the young, brash, up and comer, everyone's can't believe he's saying that sort of stuff, and now you're kind of hey, I've cemented myself. Do you feel a bit more of a veteran?
Definitely feel a lot more experienced. When I think of veterans, I think of guys with 30, 40 fights, and I'd like to consider myself an experienced fighter because I am. I've actually had similar to those numbers if you include the amateur ranks across Muay Thai and also MMA. So yeah, I would consider myself close to a veteran.
What's your mindset changed over those years?
It's a good question, bro. Like anything, you gain experience. So I've had experiences across, an array of experiences, and they've all added to my mindset. Now I'd say it's more complete in the sense that I understand more regarding the game. I understand more about myself, about the approach, about my opponents.
You seem a little bit more almost methodical, you're breaking it down mathematically, but a different way now. Has something happened in your way of thinking?
No, I'd say look, I go off intuition as well. I've got a very intuitive approach to the sport, but at the same time, I do bring in that calculated effort. So yeah, it's interesting to hear that. That's how it appears. Fair call. Nothing major. I guess just experience, bro. I'm someone who is always asking the questions that I feel necessary. Like, what is necessary to be at the best right now? What is the best thing I can do right now to have the highest return? At the same time, I listen to myself. I listen to my team, my close people about anything really fighting aside. But at the same time, it's off of feel and then asking those questions.
And mate, gotta ask, is it officially moved teams?
Yeah, bro. I'm over at Combat One. I do a bit of training in a few other places as well, but I'm at Combat One.
Why the move from Absolute MMA?
Look, bro, the years I spent at Absolute, fucking quality. Like I've part of why I'm gonna win the belt is gonna be due to Absolute, the years that I spent there. Over the years, I just yeah, bro, I just felt like this was necessary and that it was time to get a fresh start. Like I stayed for so long um, out of loyalty, but at the same time, you have to be loyal to yourself. You have to be loyal to the vision. You know, people understand these things, and yeah, just honestly, it just felt right. It felt like it was correct to move. So, when things feel right, you just you follow your intuition.
Did anything happen? Is there ill will or is it all good?
Nah, it's all good. Like it was Simo's birthday the other day. I said happy birthday. He wished me luck on the fight.
Mm.
Like, I still message a couple of the boys. Speaking to Alice there a few days ago. Sammy just sent me a message. Like things are chill,
Mm.
It just was, bro, in life people move on. People move countries, people move work, they move states, they changes happen. Doesn't mean
Mm.
that we aren't boys anymore. Still wish everyone the best on the mats, off the mats. It's just I'm in a different location now.
And Marwan actually made a weird point where if you look at like your weight class, Absolute MMA seemed like the place to be. There's like two UFC fighters there, like Volders is doing great stuff, but Combat One seems almost either heavier or lighter type thing. Has there been any issue there, or is that no concern?
Zero concern. Yeah, we have a few featherweights here. We have a fair few featherweights. I'd say most of my training partners are featherweights. I'm able to train with welterweights and pretty high level welterweights, I'll say. And it's a benefit. It gives me a good feel,
Mm.
a stronger feel. When I especially notice switching from the welter to the feather, there's a big difference. I'm very glad I get to work with the featherweights as well. At the same time, bro, there's AET, which Combat One has
Yeah.
an affiliation with. So a fair bit of training has happened out at AET. They got a couple featherweights, lightweights, and Sam is switched on. Talking Sam Hayward here, he knows what he's up
Mm.
to. So he also brings in guys to spar and get a different feel. It's actually a little new to me, that side of things. It's
Mm.
been it's been cool though.
And did you search out Combat One, or did you just like cross train there one day and go, "Oh, like this is the place for me"?
Actually, years ago, bro, when I was in the amateurs, which is funny, when I fought for the amateur title, the amateur Part the Hex title, I had no MMA. I hadn't really no
Mm.
MMA training going on. So I actually met Sam back then,
Oh.
and I spent time with him. He had a small setup outside of at the back of his missus' studio, and I trained with him with a couple of boys, just put in a few sessions, and honestly, like if it worked out well. Like nothing deep happened, but he just gave me a couple basic things to deal with the guy I was fighting when I got the job done. Didn't really stay in touch over the years, just stayed up to date.
Mm.
And then when I felt like okay, now it might be a good time to, it is a good time to move forward. I reached out to him, bro, had a chat, and yeah, came across, had a sauce and made the move.
Is there anything that you've noticed about, some of the higher level guys like a John O'Micallef where you go, oh, now that I see him training every day, like this is why he's so good?
Yeah, but it's all the things that all the top guys have, I'd say even at any gym I've trained at, from absolute through to internationally, the top guys, they just have a certain mindset where they're always, some things are just not even a discussion. It's things they wouldn't even talk about. It's just what they do,
Mm.
which is skill development, focus on improvement, um, looking after the body. I'd say the boys here they have a pretty good lifestyle. Like Jono and all the rest of those boys that they just constantly training, leveling up with a good balance,
Mm.
and they eat clean, live clean. They talk about it. We stay on the mats after class. We look at extra technique, pick apart positions, workshop a lot of things. I reckon just fundamentals to high performance.
And talking about your opponent, Marwan Rahiki, everyone really goes on about how good a striker he is. He's very confident that you won't stand with him. Like, where do you sit on that? Like, grappling obviously is if you're a betting man, you think okay, Sem's path to victory might be grappling, but does any of that sort of phase into how you go about preparation, or do you think you can beat him anywhere?
I reckon I can beat him anywhere. I'm very well aware that I've got a significant advantage in a certain area, and that's of course uh, something we will capitalize on. And that's that. Everyone experienced, such as yourself, even your assessment shows that the fight speaks for itself, you know. You know you know what he has to offer, you know what I have to offer. The question is who's showing up on the night and who's putting forward their game plan, who's executing what they need to do. Um, that's it. The rest you guys will see on the night. How do the exchanges go? What actually happens? The way I prepared has been very, uh, it hasn't been super specific. I've prepared something I spoke about at the start of camp was whether it's going to be Marwan, whether it was going to be, because at the start I didn't know if it was going to be him or George.
Mm.
And given I've been in scenarios where fights have switched on me last minute, I prepared to beat any type of fighter, any style of fighter. And then through the training that we did at Combat One, we focused on a few things that are specific to old mate. Yeah.
Do you feel overlooked at all?
Haven't even thought about it, bro. Yeah.
And when it comes to sort of even preparation in general, obviously you go to say Sammy Howard, great coach, obviously knows how to get great fighters, but how you might like weight cut or something with Absolute and how you fight week might be with Combat One. Has there been anything that's different or any sort of shock to the system that you didn't really think of?
No, weight cut wise, I've got Jack
Yep.
Doherty, the ultimate combat dietitian in my corner. So that's been same old from amateurs till now. Fight week, nothing different, bro. When it comes down to fight week, I would say it's pretty common across some gyms. Although I'm sure there's differences. It's really refining, and it's all energy now, sharpening the mind, body, spirit, preparing yourself for battle. That's what it comes down to. So it's been same old, you know. It's like if I need a hand, I can reach out. Uh, we've got things under control here.
Well, mate, you sound almost like revitalized, refreshed. I like it. Obviously, we chatted previously as well. Your mindset, you're always big on that. But I feel like, I don't know if you've turned a corner, if you're in a new chapter, but it feels like we're going to see the best version of Sem Kakembo. Prediction wise, heading into the fight, at least maybe not result, but performance. What can we expect?
Finish, a finish, a finish from me. Any round, round one, two, three, four, five, finish.
Beautiful. All right, mate. I really appreciate the time, and I look forward to seeing you in Melbourne. Glad to see this new version of you, man. I'll tell you what, I'm buying in. That's for sure.
Man, yeah, let's go.
See you later, fella.
Catch it, bro.